questionable decisions today, including going with Tucker on the last game of the series. And Jesse joins us right now on the Yingling guest hotline. What's up, Jess?
Afternoon, boys. Yeah, counsel said this one stung today. They held serve. This is his words, but that's not good enough. And he knows it. He knows it. They needed to win this one to really put a dent in that lead. So, yeah, they're going to need help the rest of the way if they think they're going to win the division, which, I think we all agree it's kind of a long shot.
Jess, what was the rationale between some of the decisions to sit Shaw and to put Kyle back in right field as opposed to getting him back into action when they go to play the Angels?
Yeah, I don't have any great answer. I'll just tell you what counsel said is all along he told Kyle this was going to be a 2-day thing. They had that rain out late Monday, so the doubleheader's Tuesday, so that's 1 day, 2 games, then Wednesday. So there's your 2 days. I kind of agree with you. I think change the scenery, change the setting, all that stuff probably would have been better for him. But either way, he's got to get out of this one way or another. We'll get to some audio about the playing time issue now with Owen Casey kind of providing something there, Willie Castro providing something he started today. Let's talk about Kyle Tucker. Exit velos of 86 ground ball to first base, 58 ground ball to third base. Then he finally got it in the air, 76 miles an hour, line drive to second, but it was soft. Final out, got to the outfield, 93 miles per hour on his exit velo. So slowly but surely, maybe some signs.
No,
but middle of the order guy. You got to do something more than that. So we'll see as things move forward. I think the other option is get him out of that top spot in the lineup kind of. I mean, this is a touchy situation. This is a perennial star in his free agent year. You've already sat him. You've got a young guy showing a burst of energy here in Owen Casey. But they feel like they need to get Kyle Tucker going. But other than him telling him, I'm giving you 2 days, Tommy, I don't have a great reason why he was back in there today.
So take us through the injury then, too. The story that you broke, counsel then confirmed it. And it is a complex situation because he did have the hairline fracture, but he was going well while he was playing through it. So did the Cubs mishandle it, or is that just totally playing Monday morning quarterback on this?
I think they mishandled it more recently. And so let's go through it. You're right. He has the hairline fracture on June 1st. But here's where the waters get muddy. He has a really good month of June. It's not impacting him. For some reason, it started to more and more. They don't even know why. I played the audio of Craig Counsell to Carmen this morning. He kept on saying, I don't know. Why was he good in June and then slowly but surely got worse and worse in July? Let me break it down because it is a little Monday morning quarterback. Remember, there's the All-Star break, so that breaks up the month. From July 1st to the All-Star break was 12 games, small sample. He hit 205 with a 308 on base. Bad, but that could just be your normal slump. Mm-hmm. Coming out of the All-Star break, he hit 235. This is till the end of the month, but a 458 on base. He had 14 walks, 3 strikeouts, but the extra base hits were not coming. Still had an 841 OPS. He did have a couple doubles and a home run. Then August comes around, and it really tanks. And I think, to be honest, the Cubs would tell you they were probably a week to 10 days late in doing something, whether that was a really late IL stint for this injury or the sit-down that they just did to him. It probably should have happened a week into August. So I think they misread it more recently, not necessarily in June and July.
And listen, I understand a player's willingness and want to continue to play. At what point, Jesse, I guess it's a difficult decision. At what point does the manager or somebody even higher than the manager in the organization say, look, I know you want to play, but maybe you just need to sit and rest for a while?
No, it's definitely the manager's job to do that. And he had that conversation with him Sunday. I just think it probably should have happened a week ago Sunday or 2 weeks ago Sunday. I think the trend was there in July. So by August, they have to have that tough conversation, even if it isn't an IL stint. And again, it's such an inexact science. And Tommy, you were a former athlete. I mean, baseball is even, more precise maybe than even football, meaning
Well, it's harder to do, yeah.
Yeah, you need so many things working. I just saw William Contreras, the Brewers catcher. He's been playing with a fracture in his left hand all season, and his numbers offensively are down a little bit. But he's still throwing guys out, and he's still contributing, but he's not Kyle Tucker, right? So some guys can play through it and perform. Some guys can play through it, but maybe not perform as well. And then some guys, Yordan Alvarez, I wrote in my story, he's sat out for months with a hairline fracture. I mean, it is a pain tolerance thing, but obviously when the numbers go south, that's where the alarm bells need to go off. And they just were late to the game, and they probably lost some games because of it.
If I was to tell both of you that, what is this, August 21st? So for the entire month of August, that PCA and Kyle Tucker would combine for 3 RBIs in the entire month.
It's crazy.
You guys would have looked at me and said, you were out of your mind, get out of my face.
Right.
I mean, it's just...
The sport is crazy.
It is.
This Kyle Tucker thing reminds me of Chris Bryant in some ways, in the sense that from day one, I thought Chris Bryant was a robot and nothing would impact him. And then things started to impact him. And I don't just mean physically. Like mentally, things went south on him. I thought the same of Kyle Tucker. For 3 months here, and then he's throwing helmets, he's throwing bats, and, there's the physical part, but there's no doubt he's inside his own head. It's a crazy sport, and it impacts even the great ones.
As you mentioned, it's August 21st, as Waddle just mentioned. So we're deep into August here. If a veteran on this team like Dansby Swanson or Ian Happ would have a month where he's hitting .255 and on base of .321, a slug of .702, and an OPS of 1,023, they would never sit. And for sure they wouldn't be batting ninth when they do play. If it were those guys, if they would get that hot. And for sure in a big game they would not sit. What does Craig Counsell have up his you-know-what with Matt Shaw regarding the batting order and why he would sit the team's hottest hitter?
So let's play some audio again. It may not satisfy your question marks, but I asked him pregame about Casey, about Shaw, because now obviously Casey especially has put himself in the mix. Here's what Craig Counsell had to say about that whole thing.
Yeah, I think we have a good problem in front of us now, and I would apply this to Willie Castro a little bit too, of like trying to find some guys at bats. And keep them involved and keep them productive. So it's going to be a challenge. That's what I'll tell you. I think Owen has had a good 3 days here. An impactful 3 days. He helped us win some baseball games. That's meaningful. It's still going to be a challenge to find spots for him to get in there. But it's my responsibility to do that.
Yeah, and Jesse, it's not like the other guys are raking. I understand this is the case if Ian Happ's having a normal Ian Happ season, which for some isn't good enough, but I'm fine with a normal Ian Happ season. If Dansby Swanson doesn't suck with runners in scoring position, PCA and Tucker, like Waddle just said, has 3 RBIs
combined in the month.
Like, it's not a good problem. It's a problem that your best hitter isn't in the lineup in a swing game that means two games in the standings. It makes no sense. He's getting paid $8 million, and for what, I have no idea.
Yeah, he brings up Castro, and that's the reference to, Castro played third today, which, fine, Castro was great yesterday. Put him in center. Put Shaw back at third. Put Castro in center. PCA isn't doing much. Happ actually is coming out of it. So, but you have enough. You have the center fielder and right fielder that are struggling. So you have enough guys that I'm with you. Leave Shaw in there. Put Castro in there. I mean, Dansby Swanson got pinch hit for today by a rookie. This is a $177 million guy, and it was the right move to make. I can't remember the last time I saw a player specifically struggle as soon as someone gets on base. He is down. This is Dansby Swanson, who stranded runners today before he got pinch hit for. He is down to 176 with runners in scoring position. I started to go back and look at some numbers. 2018, our buddy Kyle Schwarber hit 194. That's the last regular I could find that hit under 200, but that was at least 194. This is 176. So there are plenty of guys that are kind of a mess. And I'm with you, Matt Shaw. Let him off the leash. Bring him, put him up in the lineup. You have nothing to lose at this point. You need that spark. Very telling, though. They go 3-0 with Casey in the lineup. They go 0-2 without him. I mean, come on. It's staring you at the face.
This is an argument, Jesse, I had with Tyler about Ian Happ, that he's coming out of it or that he's one of their hotter hitters. Ian Happ is hitting like 230 in the year. Okay, 230 with an OPS of 715. That's his yearly totals. Do you know what he's doing in August that he's, quote, coming out of it? He's hitting 230 for the year. His August is 233. His OPS for the year is 715. For the month, his OPS is 695. Ian Happ is having a normal month for Ian Happ in 2025. Ian Happ ain't coming out of anything.
Yeah, it's just those. I know you don't want to hear expected stats. It's just the hard hit stuff.
Screw the expected stats. Throw the computer out the window.
All I'm saying is you have three struggling outfielders. Of the three, I would bench the center fielder and right fielder before the left fielder. That's all I'm saying.
What is, Jesse, be baseball doctor here, what is the issue? Now, I mean, you can explain some of the stuff with Tucker. What is the issue with PCA, do you believe? Now, there was a really good article from a couple of days ago. It was about Major League Baseball overreactions, whether it's legitimate or not. And one of them was overreaction. Pete Crow Armstrong struggles are a big concern. You know, it says here he swings at everything. He's had the fifth highest chase rate amongst qualified batters, swinging at over 42% of pitches out of the strike zone. Despite having strong power numbers leading up to August, Jess, he has below average hard hit rate, average exit velocity. Is that some of the explanation for why? Also in this article, they say his average fly ball distance has dropped about 20 feet. If you had to put all of that information into your baseball calculator and come to a conclusion as to what has ailed PCA the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, what would you say?
I would say the chase rate has caught up with him. And I mentioned it when he was going hot. I remember a morning I was on Cap and J. Hood. I said, this is not good. The lack of walks, the walk-to-strikeout ratio can eventually catch up with a player. It didn't have to. Like, he could have been a bad ball hitter all season, but he's not advanced enough in his career that he could chase as much as he did for 162 or as much as he has for 162 and still put up some good numbers. I think it basically has caught up with him. That would be my short answer, Tommy.
And he's also a young man who really is hard on himself. So when he does struggle, maybe the struggles are amplified by just how much he expects from himself.
No doubt. And we understand it a little bit more with a young player. They're not going to take away all those stats that help them to wins early in the season. Like, it's different with Tucker and Happ. These are veterans that should be coming out of slumps quicker and all that stuff. So I think we are a little less hard on PCA for those reasons, but he needs to find it as well if this team's going to do anything down the stretch.
Oh, so we had a debate between Tyler and Waddle. For once, this didn't include me. The play in the corner for Tucker. Should he have made the catch or should he have not? Was that too tough of a catch?
It would have been a really good catch. I didn't look at the catch probability. I know you probably love that, but I don't know if I would use the words he should have made it. He could have made it. Casey made two good ones, but that was probably harder than the two ones that Casey made.
Like, nobody is suggesting it was an easy routine catch. Like, that's a tough catch to make in a crucial moment with one of your above-average players. All I'm saying is if I was a Cub fan, I would have expected him to make it. Do I think it's a tough catch? Absolutely, it's a tough catch. Is it routine? No, it's not. But you expect above-average players to do above-average things at times, do you not?
No, 100% agree, especially when things are going poorly elsewhere. I mean, I hate to do this, but I'm writing a story on the Brewers next week, and what I hate to do is bring up just how well they do most things. They made some mistakes in this series, but they are just treating every game like it's their last one, and that's a tough thing to do over 162, but when you are less than when it comes to payroll and other things, maybe that's this. I was talking to the Brewers play-by-play. He's like, maybe they might be the model moving forward for all small market teams or even big ones, where you lean into the new rules, you lean into speed and defense, you lean into every night playing your best, not just acquiescing to, it's a long season, you're going to take some nights off. So I guess what I'm saying to you is, Tommy, when you're not hitting, go make that play in right field. Go make that play.
Well, do you know why no one talks about Vaughn's defense? Is because he's raking. Because he sucks with a glove, doesn't he?
He dropped one today. He should have. The Cubs could have cashed in on.
I mean, so like he's not the world's greatest defensive player, but you know what? He's been hitting lights out for the last 6 weeks, so that's kind of overlooked. You're exactly right.
Yeah, I want to tell a quick anecdote about the Brewers in regards to this, and Tommy, you can understand this. It's the idea of we think we're giving 100% as players, but maybe you're not. And what the Brewers tell their players is basically, and I hate to use this phraseology, but gun to the head. Like, you tried to put that bunt down. Now think of doing it with a gun to your head, or your luck. I know it's crazy, but no, it's like that idea. Like, you think you're doing it, but you're or the other analogy, less dramatic than that. You're stranded on a deserted island. The only way off is you have to get that bunt down. You think you're going to try and focus a little bit more than just your normal, like you're not on the deserted island. Like, that's the way their mentality. And it's hard to do for 162, but they are proving that maybe you can do it if you just deal with the day at hand. So that's their attitude. Maybe the Cubs need to adopt a little bit of that, and not just the Cubs, some other teams around the league as well.
Or you get so anxiety-ridden, you don't get the bunt down because you're afraid you're going to be left on the island like Tom Hanks was.
That's your comment?
There's so many good counsel drops now. They're better counsel drops than moves.
Yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day, you got a baseball team that's still 18 games over 500.
It is weird.
It is. And by the way, they're pitching lights out with their starting pitchers.
Yes, another good
incredible
one.
Yeah.
Not 5, not 4, not 3. First in ERA since the All-Star break, the rotation. And the bullpen's not that far behind.
Right, to be a 500 team since then, or whatever they are. It's crazy.
And the crash continues.
Yeah, I didn't expect this, but but this really bothered me today. Like he's trying to outdo himself.
Well, we've had this, Jesse, on the show. We have had kind of this mantra as a show, make it make sense. You know what I mean? Whether it was the Chicago Bears or whoever it is. If it makes sense and it doesn't work out, you're like, okay. I mean, sports is really difficult. But if it doesn't work out and you're questioning, the why, then it becomes, I think, more of an irritating situation.
And I mean, Tucker has to be the most valuable player on the team because think about how everyone else is tanked around him.
Of course.
When's the last time we mentioned Seiya Suzuki's name in a big spot?
Yeah.
I mean, it's one guy after another, and that's why I'm with you, Sylvie. Like, you can't afford not to play Casey and Shaw for the moment.
That's the point, yes.
Even if it's desperate times call for desperate measures, you got to roll the dice and do it. And so it'll be very interesting as they go on this long road trip. It could get wonky out there West Coast, or maybe they come together. Who knows? But they need to take some of that Brewers attitude and go to battle.
Yeah, pretend that they're going to be left on a desert island.
Right. Right.
Come to that.
That's probably the better analogy than the other one I mentioned.
Yeah, that was crazy. So, by the way, we had a poll question today, Cubs fans. Which Kyle would you rather sign this offseason? And the two answers are Schwarber or Tucker. We have nearly 2,000 votes in. How do you think the voting is going?
That's a bad take, Sylvie. That's a bad take.
Talk about loading up one side or the other, Jesse.
I mean, 1,995 for Schwarber.
Yeah.
5 votes for Tucker.
It's 76.7% to Schwarber, 23.3% to Tucker. That never would have been the case in April or May. Yeah.
I don't know.
I know you don't know. All right, Jesse, anything else we need to know?
Don't have a starter for tomorrow yet. Assad was sent down. It was his turn in the rotation. So they're figuring some things out. He can't come back up unless there's an injury. So maybe someone's going on the IL. So they've got to work some things out. But the rotation's been good. That's the least of their problems. So we'll see. I imagine Casey's going to get a bunch of starts out west for sure.
All right, Jesse. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess.
All right,
Good
boys,
work
talk
as
to you
always.